5 years ago, George Floyd was killed by a Minneapolis police officer. On May 25, 2020, now former officer Derek Chauvin pressed his knee on Floyd's neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. The officer was convicted and sentenced to 22.5 years in prison. Floyd's death sparking nationwide protests demanding police and racial reforms. Here to talk more about the fallout that's being felt even still today is local attorney Antonio Romanucci. Good morning.
Good morning, Elizabeth.
Thanks for being with us. So you represented the family in a civil case.
That's correct.
Correct. How did that, this is kind of a dumbed down question, not an easy case.
No, it wasn't an easy case because when you look at when this happened, right in the beginning of the pandemic, all eyes, not of this country, but of the world, were on this. So Ben Crump and I knew that we had a mission, not only to help the family in the civil lawsuit, but also try to make some lasting change, because that was a moment in history where people expect there to be change. It was one of those pivotal moments where George Floyd's death, his murder, caused a firestorm, literally. So we were out there trying to make some everlasting change.
And?
Well,
not easy.
No, not easy, and it's like running in quicksand. You know, we thought that we had made a lot of progress, but now we can see that this administration, through its governing by executive orders, is unwinding a lot of the progress that was done, especially in the DEI area. You know, diversity was so important because we were trying to prove that all lives matter, that no matter if you're black, white, or brown, the value of life is the same as it is for anyone else. And we were able to prove that with the civil lawsuit in George Floyd. But now we can see that the police reforms that we really made progress with, they're starting to unwind with one of the executive orders that says, we are going to unleash the police on the communities. That's a quote. So that is not something that we as attorneys look as a positive sign towards police reform, but a step backwards, actually.
This case without that video that we've all seen, would it have been as big of a case without that clip?
Look, that 17-year-old child who took that video, one of the bravest people we know, because if not for that video, we may not have known the truth. That video exposed and caused the Minneapolis Police Department to be candid and come forward with their own body-worn camera videos and every other piece of evidence that they had. So if not for that video, I don't know where we would have been. This could have been subverted.
It could have been just pushed aside.
Could have been covered up.
Just pushed aside.
We don't know.
Are you surprised, you know, 5 years, which is remarkable, time flies, are you surprised where we are?
I am surprised where we are because I thought we would be much further ahead. You know, that moment in history that I talked about, we were looking for everlasting change. Well, we didn't get there. But here's where I am optimistic. The states have taken it upon their own shoulders to make everlasting change. You know, when you look at what's happening, our mayors, our attorney generals, and the lawyers are the ones out there making change. And you look at the positive steps that we took just 10 days ago with the Sonia Massey bill, Senate Bill 1953. That was a big step towards police reforming in Illinois, hiring qualified police officers. Think about that. That's all we want, are qualified police officers.
Moving forward, you're not a community activist, although sounds like you've kind of picked up that title a little bit.
Well, a little bit.
Is it still, I don't know, a passion of yours to kind of move forward with some of these things?
I don't think I have any other way to look ahead than to kind of be an activist. So am I a lawyer activist? Yes, I have a very strong feelings. I have a strong personality, so I try and make my imprint on anything that I do. So even like with Sonia Massey, there had to be some change. You can't have a killing like Sonia Massey's and not say, how do we improve? How do we get better? And that's something that we all need to do.
It sounds like I kind of know the answer to this, but how has your life changed over the past 5 years?
It's changed dramatically, I think. It really has, just because of not only the emotional effect that George Floyd's murder had on me personally, but also in terms of the work that I do. Was I an activist before George Floyd? Yes. Am I more of an activist? Yes.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being with us.
Thank you,
and
Elizabeth.
appreciate your hard work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.